after taking a step up against California defensively, kind of took a step backwards. What happened there?
Well, I'll tell you, when you look at videotape, I mean, you saw some of the old demons, if you will, resurface. I mean, our tackling wasn't on point. I mean, you know, the missed tackles showed up. More mental errors, went back in the 20s. And, you know, we got to pay attention to that. We already err on the side of simplicity, but we got to look at it even more. And because the players' performance and the mental mistakes, they speak to you, and you have to listen. So those areas, man, we just got to go back to square one and, you know, pay attention to how much we got installed, continue to work on tackling, and, you know, just kind of continue to try to change the culture.
Question.
Being an old DB, I'd never like to see us drop an interception, but we had two really good opportunities to stop drives. And how do you react to that?
Well, you look at the very first one, Miles, in that situation, red zone, early in the game, and it's without question. I mean, he grabbed that interception and he get a hold of it. I mean, you know, that's game changing. I mean, you know, and I'm like you. I mean, as an old DB, you get an opportunity. I mean, you got to capitalize on it. And so that's one thing we certainly have to improve on. You look at the stats. I mean, we're nowhere to be found in terms of turnovers. And so that's another thing we talked about as defense staff. I mean, let's simplify more so we can focus on turnovers and takeaways. And those that we should have had in the ball game Saturday would have certainly changed the complexion of the game.
Crom, after watching the film, were you happy or satisfied with the overall effort defensively? And if you weren't, did you address that with any particular players?
Well, you know, you have certain categories when you go in with the head coach and you talk about the things you did well and things you did bad. And honestly, the effort is not in question. I think that the effort was there. Could it improve? It certainly can. That was the one thing that we walked away and said that, well, we'll give pretty good effort. You know, let's step it up in that department a little bit. So if we're getting good effort, let's look at how much defense we got in. Again, we err on the side of simplicity, but we got to study that. And let's see what we can do more to get takeaways.
Wesley, does your familiarity with the Auburn players and the coaches from being there, does that help you in any way going into this week?
Oh, without question. I was just looking at the offensive personnel and some of the guys that got at the tight end position and the running back position, receiver position, and it helps being very familiar with those guys, knowing their skill set and knowing their mindset. So that should serve as an advantage going into the game planning. But we're not gonna. It's not gonna be much game planning this week. We're gonna reduce the package, let them line up and play. We'll give them each player's personality on Auburn's offense, and it's gonna be up to us to go out and win some one-on-one battles in this football game, and you know, and not let scheme override everything. But certainly, it's gonna give us an advantage because we know the players on that roster.
Wesley, we've heard you talk about simplify all season. We're hearing that again from Matt as well. Is there a balance you have to find in simplifying too much to help the players, yet to keep from becoming predictable?
Well, there is certainly a fine line in that. And the flip side of it is, you know, we have to look at personnel. And we were looking at our personnel real careful. And that may be one or two guys that are not in the lineup at all because right now they don't quite exactly know what to do. Well, if they have a skill set that can help you win, reduce your package. Reduce it even more. Even if you go and you feel like that you're left-handed in terms of call, reduce the variables and let's try and increase the performance. Because at the end of the day, we all signed up for production-based business. And if you don't produce, you separate yourself from the environment. So we have to go back and the focal point is, what can we do as a coaching staff, you know, to make sure that we get better production? And that's the solution to the problem, is that find a way where the guys on the roster can produce more. So there's a balance between it. You know, do I have enough or did I simplify too much? But I think if we get the production we're hunting for, I think we'll be happy with the reduction.